Hey you guys, John Grimsmo here, another quarantine vlog. Lately, past bunch of videos, I've been focusing all on that guy, which has been super fun. I haven't filmed everything that I've done in the shop, but today I'm going to film a little bit more of what I'm doing in the shop, because I've been neglecting the Tornos. So let's dig into that. I got some work to do on that, and then we'll get to the Kern later in the day. If you remember, about a week and a half ago or something, there was a little bit of an oopsie on this thing, a crash. And I haven't touched it since, so I just got to dig in. I replaced a parting blade and like an insert, and it crashed, and I'm not sure exactly why. Not a big deal, I just got to figure out what happened. So that's what I'm going to do first. If I don't do that first, it's not getting done today, so I got to do that because I got a lot of parts to make. So on a machine like this, or kind of any CNC machine, sometimes there's a critical order of tools where if one tool breaks, it's going to blow out the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. And you got to be really careful of that. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what happened here, but I think it made a part and then the parting blade broke when it was trying to part it off. I don't know why, maybe I didn't tighten it enough. I did torque it down with a proper clicking torque wrench. I cleaned the pockets, the insert didn't have garbage behind it. I don't know yet. I'll take it apart and I'll figure it out. But I think that broke first, and then it didn't part off properly because the parting blade wasn't there. And then the spot drill goes in, like the spot drill broke, which is insane. I think it either sideways hit the part, or it just rammed into so much material that shouldn't have been there. And then the drill broke, the through coolant drill broke, and then my internal threading tool broke, and that's where it stopped. Yeah, that's, I don't know, easily $100 worth of tools in the span of about 30 seconds when I wasn't standing there watching it, because I shouldn't have to stand here watch it. But, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to pull it apart, get some new tools in there, get going. Real quick, you can see the parting blade right there. And, oh, it's hard to see. Spot drill's that one. That one up there is the drill, and then the threading tool is that third one kind of down there. Hard to see. Alright, so I pulled the holder out. Everything looks good. There's no real damage to it or anything, so that's good. So I'm just putting the brand new insert in using my Wiha torque fix key to torque it down. This thing's really sweet. They're about, I don't know, $80 or $100. And if you listen, click, click. So they click, they torque. This one's 1.4 Newton meter, which is allegedly perfect for a T8, a Torx T8. So I've got one for T8, one for T7, the two typical ones that I use on this machine, and it reduces that variable of screw tightness. And I should be doing it for everything, but I don't have them for everything, so eventually I'll keep getting more. Okay, let's put this back in, put the coolant to it, and then this should be good. I gotta touch it off and make sure it's good, but progress update. New parting blade installed. New spot drill, new through coolant drill, and new threading tool all installed. Stuck out roughly the same length on all those drill bits. And then the next step is I've got a little dummy file that takes the part off blade, it cuts it off, and then it moves it over to this turning tool on the bottom. And then it turns, because this is like my reference basically. This is the face that this makes is always going to be Z0 on my part, so like the beautiful front finish. So I'm going to turn that to 0, and then I get to bring these tools in, use a shim, and touch them off, so that these tools are all referenced to my finished turning tool. So I'm going to do that. Interesting development. So I'm doing my little cutoff routine, and there was a lot of vibration and a lot of singing. I didn't film it, and I'm not going to do it again just for you guys. But yeah, it was humming and like buzzing. Something's wrong. Something's weird. So maybe the guide bushing is super duper loose. Maybe, I don't know, I gotta go through the system. But that gives me an indication that something with the parting blade is wrong and caused the original crash, or tool breakage, I guess I should call it. So, first indication, this is my bar and I can pretty easily pull it and push it. So that's a lot looser than I want it to be normally. Normally I want to be able to like go like this, even with a paper towel here if I need to, and be able to just get it in straight. And then this is an adjustable guide bushing, so there's a threaded thing on the back, I call it like a nut thing, that I can make it tighter so that it grips tighter on the material. Because the way that the Swiss works is it's a sliding bushing basically, and the material slides in and out to make your part. So you need it to be tight but movable, and this is probably a bit looser than, I can't wiggle it up and down, but, well, maybe a little bit. Or maybe I'm feeling in and out. But yeah, I can go that tighter. That might help. All right, let's try this again. Okay. Yeah, I heard it was a little vibrating at the beginning, and then it got really clean, and then right when it got to the middle, where it parts it off, I heard a little thud. Which is probably the part just like flying and, you know, breaking off a little bit. The insert's still fine. I'm gonna see if I can find that little slug that fell off. What do you think? Can you see it down there? How do I do exposure again? Oh, there we go. It's down there somewhere. So I was wrong. The insert is very much not okay. One cut and it's chipped and dead. Something's wrong. No idea what yet. Alright, I'm taking a chance. I replaced the insert. I'm going to leave everything else alone, thinking that maybe it chipped on the first vibration, the first cut, before I changed the guide bushing. So now that the guide bushing is tight and I have a new insert, I'm going to try that. Try to eliminate, you know, a few variables at a time instead of changing everything to know what happened. We'll see. Anyway, let's go to time lapse here. Okay. It's also not, normally this machine is, you know, bar on this side, supported on this side, and then cutting it off, and right now it's not, so that might be a variable as well. It might work. This might be okay. Yeah, that's better. It's so oily. Alright, we're doing pretty good. So we got the main side done. Almost perfect. That spot drill, the chamfer, is a little too big on the inside. And I'll have to check the thread fit and tolerances and stuff. This is what it's like when it goes to the sub-spindle. So there's this little hat at the top that the sub-spindle faces off, and then the grinding wheel that we showed a couple weeks ago goes in and it grinds the end of the, after it faces down, grinds just a couple tenths off, and then it puts the logo engraving on the inside, and then it spits it out. So we're getting there. Got my thread gauge here. This was custom made because in full Grimsmo weird fashion, the thread's not a super standard fit. Okay, the no-go side goes in, so the thread is too big, and I know that the outside is too big, so the machine's just got to warm up and shrink down a little bit, or I comp it down. That's good. It's good progress. Much time has passed. Having trouble the main side is fine. Bring it to the sub side, it's not happy. Let me show you. Alright, so like I showed before, we make a part on the main side, it transfers to the sub. Now our part is right there in the sub, about to get face milled, or you know, turned, get that little hat cut off. Except the way the machine is programmed right now, sub side is Z0, which means the tool should be touching the part. But those two aren't friends. They're not touching right now. They're 483 apart, 0.483, so almost half an inch. And I can't figure out why. The sub-spindle offset, your G55 on this machine, you never touch. It's all math. It figures it out in the first line of code right here. Your stock diameter is 375. Your part length is 353. C, I forget what C is. Oh, this side. Oh yeah, C is your pickoff length, how far you want to grab onto the part. And then D1 is your feeding allowance, so I've got 1 inch of extra room, not that important, blah, 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 blah. But that defines based on part length and feeding allowance and pickoff length and all that stuff. That math is your way to get the sub-spindle perfect, like right ways in Z. And I haven't changed anything, but it's half an inch off, and I'm super confused. So I think I'm just going to spit that out. I'm going to make another part over there. I'm going to transfer it and see if it does it again. The weird thing is, that's confusing me most, is it grabbed onto the exact right length. Like, when the sub-spindle comes in and it grabs the part, it didn't grab, you know, half inch out or half inch too deep. It grabbed perfect. So the problem only came when it came over to this side. I'm just confused. And I'm wasting my day. I want that. But I might not get to that because I might be doing this all day. Just like I thought, I scrap that part, I go make the next part, and the Z looks fine. I don't understand. And I'm not saying it's the machine's fault, I'm probably saying it's my fault. Sometimes there's just so much to know that I don't understand what's actually happening. And with this kind of stuff, it's all programming. I mean, look at that. That's all programming. It does what you tell it to do. And I just feel really stupid when I don't understand why something isn't working. But sometimes you scrap it and start over and it works. And there's a lesson in there somewhere, I just don't know what it is yet. And that's probably what bugs me the most, is like I want to understand what happens so that when it happens again I know what to do. And I don't, and it bothers me. But anyway, let me try to finish this part. That's running well. So like I said before, the G55 calculation is a calculation, and maybe I just didn't run it properly because I was trying to make just one part. I didn't run it through and make like a full part. I was stopping it a couple times, so maybe I didn't run through enough pieces of the code to allow it to make that full calculation. I'm gonna go with that as an answer for now. But it's going good. It's doing that grinding wheel, if you guys remember from a week or two ago. That this guy, the die cut wheel. Here's my extra one. I didn't show you a couple weeks ago how this happened. I crunched one due to some clearance issues that I didn't see coming. But now I've got a stable process. Seems to work pretty good. And if you missed those videos, basically I'm trying to get the absolute craziest, nicest finish on the face of that part right there. And I'm using the grinding wheel to basically go like that. Spin the part slowly, spin the wheel at 8,000, and they're kind of super duper duper slowly coming together. And and grinding. And man, I didn't know if it would work. It was an experiment. It works so good. And I'm only taking off a few tenths, but I can tell, and it works awesome. And it's slow, but whatever, it's fine. Alright, so now I'm in the classic super analyze the part, hyper analyze it. See, that face finish looks pretty sweet with that grinding on it. They do get tumbled afterwards, so it kind of blends it all in. I like how it shimmers, it's pretty neat. The chamfers look good. There's a little back chamfer back here. You can just see the light glinting off of. That looks good. There's supposed to be a radius at the front here. I can feel a burr. So that's not good. There's a bit of a Z difference between a couple tools there. The pivot hole chamfer needs to be bigger. Check the threads on this one. What's this side? That's my go side. Let's try the no-go side. Probably still too big. Yep, no-go side goes in, so that's bad. Yeah, we're getting there though. A couple tweaks. At least now I'm making parts. So now I can run it, and I can run again and again and again, let the machine get a little warmed up, dial in the tolerances, and then get making good parts here really soon. Like within 2 parts, I'll have good parts, and then I can just manage it for a while. Real quick, the 2 parts that I've made today, you can see the difference between having a huge chamfer on this one, using the spot drill to create that chamfer, and then having almost no chamfer on this one. I backed off the chamfer 0.08 of an inch, obviously way too much. I probably have to go to like 4 instead of 8. That's at 0, that's at +8, and that's too much. So I need about halfway in the middle. All right, gonna let that run, make a couple parts, let things stabilize. I can dial in the tolerances after that. But now we get to do this. Let that guy turn on. I got the Tombstone mounted in here. I want to face the surface of that. I came up with a little program that just takes like 5 thou off the top. I want to see the finish that I can leave. I want to dial in my step over. Figure out what kind of recipe we're going to use for the sides to make it perfect. Does it have to be perfect? No, but I want it to be flat. I don't want feelable steps between each thing, because when we put knife parts on there, they can't rock, they can't be crooked, they can't... Yeah, it does have to be perfect. That's what we do. As perfect as I'm able to do within my ability, within my tooling, within my time constraints, etc., etc., etc. They did tell me how to change that. Like, I like it, that Saunders logo is there. I think it's funny. On his new Datron machine, there's a Grimm's mode as well. A little special secret button that activates Grimm's mode. So I think that's hilarious too. But they did tell me how to change this. I want to put our Viking helmet right there in the middle of the Kern. I just think that'd be sweet to see on startup every time. Yeah, it runs on Linux, right? Like Heidenhain backend is Linux. This one is anyway. And yeah, they said it's just an image file in some folder somewhere. Kind of cool. So while that's warming up, starting up, I'm just going to keep talking. I got a couple ideas. Tornos is running. Kern's going to start warming up soon. Like when I'm by myself, I know you guys want like perfect, quiet vlog shop, but that's just not possible, especially as we're producing, which is good. However, a couple guys have mentioned that the air compressor right there, our brand new Kaiser SM10, is loud. It's always humming in the background. It's a screw compressor, rotary screw compressor, amazing piece of equipment, but it idles, and it's always like, especially as the 2 machines that are on right now, they eat quite a bit of air. So I'm toying with the idea of building just a little room around it. I can't put it outside because we live in Canada and it gets really cold, and the Kaiser people told me not to. But if we built a room around there, now it needs airflow, it needs clean air to come in and bad air to come out. It needs to be able to like exhaust itself and not get too hot and stay cool and stuff. So I don't know. I'm not a builder, woodworker kind of guy, but build a little semi-sound insulated room there might cut down on quite a bit of noise in this shop. But then again, when everything's running, it's noisy. What are you gonna do? I'm just using this guy. All of the vlogs have been on this guy. It's okay. It's a Rode, I don't know what it's called, VideoMicro something. It works okay, but it picks up a lot of background noise. Fraser left me these guys. Okay, let me do this. These are quite nice. We've tested these before. We've used them for a bunch of videos, just not in the quarantine vlogs by myself. They're wireless, right? So one mounts to the camera, one mounts on me, and I think these give a lot cleaner audio than the little dead cat thing on top does. I should really, fine, let's do it right now. Okay. Yeah, I see the sound levels going. Let's try it. Okay, I think we're recording with these now. Does it sound different? Probably. Does it? Let's walk over to the air compressor, do the exact same shot that we did before. So this is our Kaiser SM10. Yeah, last time I was wearing this mic and we stood in front of that, you guys couldn't even hear it. Is it better? I don't know. It's loud to me. It's a sweet compressor though, I really like it, but it's our old compressor, the Air Tower 7.5, which we have in the front building. It turns on and then it turns off, and then it turns on and then it turns off as you need it. This one is set to idle for 5 minutes. So it turns on and then it keeps spinning, not doing anything, just idling like a car engine at a stoplight, so that it's ready for the next pump cycle. Because apparently it's better for a motor like that, a screw motor, to keep going. It's more energy efficient to actually keep it going than to constantly go on, off, on, off. And I know you can set the 5-minute interval to whatever you want. I've just got it as default, but yeah. But even still, like, with that 5-minute interval and the Kern on and the Tornos on, it never turns off. So it never reaches a 5-minute period before it has to pump again. And then as we get more machines or more guys blasting with the air gun or whatever, then it gets used more. So it's a 10 horsepower compressor. At some point, we're gonna need even bigger than that. That's crazy. Hopefully this sounds good. I'm sure it does, but I just had a brief panic moment for like, how are we for batteries? So this guy, I don't know if you can see it. Come on. That shows the battery of the receiver and the transmitter, and it's plugged into the camera right now. So if I face that on top of the camera facing me, then I'm always looking at it. So that's not so bad. Let's go check out how these parts are doing. Oh, the other cool thing is I can talk to you from far away. Camera's falling over. I can talk to you from far away and you can still hear me because the mic is right here. That's really cool. Okay, so I see 5 parts, not bad. My tray is not rotating like it should. It's Arduino based and it gets a little wonky. You gotta unplug it and plug it back in again if it sits for quite a while. So I'm gonna do that. Unplug it, plug it back in. Because yeah, I've got it set to 1 and it should rotate every 1 part. So we got some parts here. Yeah, if it had rotated, I would know what the first one is and the last one is, but it didn't, so a couple critical dimensions. Okay, so that offset worked. It's kind of at my upper end, so I went a little far. ID chamfer worked great. There's still a problem with this front edge. I don't know, something's wrong with that, some tool offset. Otherwise, they look really good. What's my barrel diameter? 1.873. Yeah, I gotta go a little bit lower than that. Just to 6.6, that's a big range between the two. 6.8. The machine's warming up. 6.7, it'll stabilize here real soon. 6.9, 7.0 is kind of my goal. That's probably better for you. And then it's full of oil in the middle. Let's try the no-go threads. That's a bit better. It still goes in, but it's tighter than it was before. So that's good. Very close. Okie dokie. Got the Swiss going again. The parting blade had to be offset by a little bit to make it all line up properly. Let's get this Kern going. I think the lights should turn on any second now. Get the pallet changer started. Here we go. Compressed air 1 in cabinet 1 off. I wonder if the air does come from the Kern. There goes the lights. Okay. Yeah, so the Kern has to be fully on before I can turn on the pallet changer. Okay, homing the pallet changer. So it's homing every axis. Sweet. Now it's homing one of the Z axis, the up and downer. Bounces up against the limit switch. Pretty quick. And then it does the stick out arm. And then we're ready to go. And then I just got to go, I want automatic mode, so I go 2, and then I go 1 to confirm automatic, and then I click the little checkbox, and then robot is ready. In order to properly home the machine, I got to get that pallet out of there. So I called pallet 0, which is nothing, so now it's empty. Now I can properly home the machine. Because it wants to go like right over the pallet, and then it wants to go down a little bit. Not gonna work. All right. So I'm already past my I need to go home deadline. But just posting the code right now onto the USB. I can absolutely network this machine into the thing. I think I need to run an Ethernet cord to it to be able to do that into our network. I want to do that eventually, I just haven't yet. But then I can easily post codes like click and then they're on the machine. That'll be sweet. And then eventually be able to pull stuff from the machine onto the computer, either automatically, data files, probing sheets, inspection reports, tool lists, tool life thing, like a lot of possibilities. Okay. Got the tombstone in there. We're gonna take a light 5 thou facing pass on the top surface, and then we're gonna do it again, and we're gonna see what it looks like. That is my only goal right now, and I should be able to do it in about 3 minutes. I'm not rushing, I'm just eager to get this done and eager to get home. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. It's scary though. Turn the coolant off so I can see what we do in here. How about I hang you, do the old door hang again. Pardon me while I reposition and try to get this thing stable. Guaranteed Fraser's not going to cut this out. Okay. Okay, focus is good. Set it to manual so it doesn't keep changing. All right, I need to even give you a little zoomy. Okay, he probably should cut this out. It's embarrassing. If you saw how janky this setup was. Okay, that way you can look and I can pay attention. Okay, I just desperately want to make sure that the Z is fine. All right, let's try this. Yay, we're making chips. It's looking really good. I'll turn the spindle on, or the coolant on for the second pass, the finish pass. think that'll do. Oh, that feels real good. I can barely feel waviness. That's really good though. Smooth that way. Almost perfectly smooth that way. It's pretty nice. Shiny. I wouldn't say it's 1,000,000% perfect, but it's a little bit less than that. A couple of these swirlies, I'm not sure what that's from. I think I turned the coolant off. No, I left the coolant on for the entire finish pass. I don't know, it's pretty cool. I think that will suffice. Be interesting to sweep an indicator across it and just see for any bumps. But not today. Today, I'm going home. Flip my screen out so I can see what I'm doing. Dinner is ready, past ready. It's cold. I'm a bad person. I'm going home. I will see you guys another day. Later, bye.